The Shuttle Alpha Mark IV is a 3D printable Starship at 28mm scale. Perfect for any science fiction tabletop game, it looks great on a shelf and even better in game. Open the top to wow your players with the playable interior, which you can customize using the OpenLock clip system, compatible with all our tiles. You can rescale it, add custom lighting, or print as many copies as you want for personal use. Hi, it's Ben from Second Dynasty. For the last 5 years we have been designing 3D printable starships and tabletop terrain. The Mark IV is the 4th iteration of our Shuttle Alpha design, which is our best-selling product to date. It features a new nose, weapon hardpoints, and powerful fixed engines. In addition, it is easier to print, features a new articulated ramp, and increased detail inside and out. Shuttle Alpha is a perfect entry-level 3D printing project. It takes just days to print on your FDM 3D printer, and our 3MF files allow you to get printing in just minutes. Spend those rainy summer days printing, painting, and playing. Back today and contribute to unlocking stretch goals to add a ton of new options, features, and variants to the whole Shuttle Alpha line. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your support. Hey guys, it's Ben from Second Dynasty here. Hang on a second, I just have to unmute John. John, can you say something?
Something.
Excellent. So, as you can hear, John is with me. My other employees are actually on holidays at the moment, so it's just me holding down the ship, and the plan is at the top of the hour to go live with our most recent Kickstarter campaign, which is the Shuttle Alpha Mark IV. On the screen, you can see it, and hopefully if you joined us right when we started streaming, you would have seen the pitch video that hopefully now has synced properly with Kickstarter, because we just did one last minute tune-up. It is very basic because I did it all myself. Normally I rely on very good, very smart people, the best people. Yeah, now I'm just completely reliant on John. Just kidding.
Dear.
Just kidding. John is wonderful. And in fact, John has been working on some stuff of his own. I see there's our regulars in the chat. It's nice to see all you guys. Hopefully we do get it funded fairly quickly, but I will temper people's expectations. I've not had a ton of time to get this out on advertising. We do have 350 odd people that have registered to save the date, which is great. But then again, also, you know, it cost what, 20, I don't remember if we went with 23 or 24 euros. The conversions have changed around a bit. In any case, it's not the same level of funding that one of my larger ships will do. But hopefully you guys think it's worthwhile. The detail is vastly improved over the original version. We can do a tour of the ship if you guys want. I did do a misprint on one of the ramps, so I just got this off my printer this morning. There we go. One that actually works. The one I did, I had XY compensation on, and now I'm weak. I think this just happens because, like, I'm in front of the camera. John designed the ramps, which was an awesome thing to not blame. An awesome thing not to have to worry about. So yeah, I'm excited. We are getting the ball rolling like maybe 10 minutes early. An hour earlier than I had originally planned. I mean, normally we release at 5 p.m. local time. It is now 10 to 6. But my wife had to work today. I had to keep an eye on the dog. The dog is quite a high maintenance dog, I guess you could say. But in any case, she got off work a bit earlier, which was wonderful. So we'll do a stream for maybe like an hour or so, depending on how fast things are running. We do have stretch goals already on the page, and I guess we need the link to the page too. John, do you have
I
that
can't.
link? Could
I
you drop?
do have it, but I can't post
You
links.
can't post in the chat. Okay. Let me grab that really quickly. I mean I have the stuff on the other screen. Let's see. Let's get that link, and then I have the streaming chat here. I don't have it on my OBS page, but I do have it on my blah, 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 on well, YouTube. It's just I have to do a bit of fiddling to move between all the various different pages and whatnot, and also have the project page ready to launch. Hopefully everything goes smooth. I believe everything is prepared. Um, I mean,
It's just gonna hurl together. It's like gonna be like asteroids impact, make money.
yeah, and the other thing too is I always forget when I'm about to launch. Oh, and when it's meant to finish too. I've set it for Monday, July 18th at 6 p.m. local time. So it is only 13 days. It's a quick starter. I've got to go on holidays after this is finished, so I didn't want to, overload things. I think all of the stretch goals that we're doing are quite attainable in a shorter amount of time. We're not expecting to blow the water away with the funding on this one. It's meant to keep us going for a while so we can get that the Beowulf going. And the Beowulf is a very large project. Well, you can kind of see. Let's switch over to the close up. I don't know that we have the system here, so John will be on silent. You can kind of see it down there in the shelving. That is the Beowulf so far. We've paused work on that just for a few weeks, and I'll be getting back to that too during the campaign. Now, I'm just going to quickly grab the actual ship. Yeah. They should be able to hear you again, John. Johnny's away. I do have some nuts I'm nibbling on.
Oh, sorry about that, sir. Someone was just shouting and screaming, saying we want the Alpha Shuttle. I had to just quell the masses.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, wait, we got the sacrifice done. But I wanted to remember, Todd Spurgeon says you really need to get a dog mini to be included for future campaigns. We'll call him Bailey.
Oh, that's a good point. All right. Here we go. This is the new Shuttle Alpha Mark IV. It has a different profile. It's not that tightly locked on at the moment. It's only in place using the hooks. It does have a setup for lighting. Now, this is not built-in lighting that everyone's going to get. It's just you can rig it up however you like, but there's a couple more options, right? So this is 2 coin cell batteries. There's room for them. I don't have a non-battery version. It's all hidden in the ceiling. You won't notice. And there are even a couple of holes in here which I've been testing what's it called? The induction lighting, which is not as impressive as I was hoping. We have the interior as well. Oh, the minis and the doors are going flying open at this angle. The detail level has been increased significantly. It uses the same dimensions as Starship the Next Generation, so we've been sure to make everything fit the same design principle so that everything is standardized now. There's no uneven floors. It's all to the same sort of height. And I think in the future it's going to make things a lot easier to deal with. So we have about 5 minutes left before launch. We do have a couple of stretch goals we're looking to unlock. I can talk about some of them while we wait. Let's see. Any guesstimate on the all-in price for the Beowulf? Ooh, I don't know. If it's an all-in price, I'd say it'd be closer to $100.
Come on, firstborn and liver.
But I don't know for sure. I think the ship itself, I can't see it being less than 60, 65. It is an absolute massive ship, and it's just taken so much work. It's
It's the weight of some cantaloupes. It is big.
it is definitely the biggest ship I've designed so far. Like the Chimera is longer technically, but volume wise, I'm pretty sure the Beowulf. I think the Beowulf is a more fun ship to play too. It feels more complete, more thought out than the
I
Chimera.
love that you have big hallways and actual areas for the cockpit and crew to sit for like play and such, so you can actually fit
Yeah,
people in. Some of my favorite scenes from Firefly was them all like huddle around the cockpit area and his little dinosaurs. I love those scenes, and now I can reenact them with the Beowulf.
and
I
the,
know
the
different
the Beowulf
universe.
bridge is huge, and we can take a look at the Beowulf maybe after we've done the actual launch in like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes, sir.
the big $10,000 or €10,000 rather stretch goal is actually the Mark III Alpha, but Mark Ford, you might say. One of the big changes that we made is that I guess there's certain areas, like here, I have not changed the fidelity of this piece at all yet. So you can actually see from the mesh how chamfered everything is. Like there's not a lot of detail. Whereas the Mark IV version, if we just select this geometry, you can see it's actually got 4 times the fidelity of the original version. So as a stretch goal, that would be updating the Mark III Shuttle Alpha, so the Mark III has the same shape, right? So it's always going to be the Mark III from now on with this basic shape. It does have a few changes because the engines here are the engines from the Mark IV, and I've also not only increased the detail on those, but added some weaponry, which I know some people will like because the shuttle does not have fixed weapon. It doesn't have any weaponry by default. So the idea there at 10,000 would be we go back to the Mark III and we give it the Mark IV once over basically. And if we hit like a huge stretch goal like 25,000 or something like that, I might even go back and do the stretch goals from the original Alpha series. So then that would bring everything up to date to modern standards. This, as it is like the most modern version of the Mark IV. But the starting stretch goals are pretty simple, I think. Let's see. Oh, I want to stay on the launch page, so maybe I need to look at I can follow the link that I put up myself. Do you have any questions, John, or should we just worry about it?
Every People were wondering about the windows, but it's being answered. Resin,
Yeah.
polish it, or just cut some plastic sheets.
That's
People,
one thing that's been changed with the Mark IV is it's designed to just cut some plastic sheets. They're flat. Um, Not only that, like my inspiration for this design is like the Battlestar Galactica shuttle. It is the Gozanti cruiser from Star Wars. It is oh god, what's the
oh, I
last?
love it.
There's one more that I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, the Misk Freelancer from Star Citizen, for example. And you can kind of see. I kind of went with Misk coloring for this one. Um, of course, you don't have two huge turrets on the sides, but still, it's kind of like similar in its layout and whatnot. This is going a bit slow at the moment because we've got some lighting on. If I turn it
Are those
off,
missile points? I didn't even notice that. Can you launch missiles from the front?
there are no missile points by default, no.
Okay, okay, making sure.
But
Man,
we do have this. Someone said they wanted anime style missile pods. So I thought, what if you took anime style missile pods and combined it with aliens? So, yeah, fold
that's
out
just
missile pods.
beautiful.
I think this will work quite nicely. Um, and maybe the final version will have several versions of this. Because I mean, 20 missiles is not anime missiles, and what they're really talking about is Macross missiles. Let's see, we have 20 seconds. So I'm going to. I don't think there is any bad information here. So we'll put this over here. This is what the Kickstarter looks like, and we click the "I'm ready to launch" button. I'm actually going to do it now because we have to read through all of this stuff. And
Go,
there we
go,
go.
go.
Now it's like, we have a problem. There we go. We're live. And that was like pretty spot on, right? 5 seconds passed. So you guys don't need to see that part just yet. But going back, it's live. And yeah, we'll see how this thing goes while we talk.
Pledge now, hurry.
Let's see if we can get our first pledge. Come on, I know there's got to be people in the chat that are waiting for this. Or,
climb over them and pledge.
Or are people needing to? Let's link this again. John, why haven't you pledged? No, I'm kidding.
I'm trying to pledge, but it won't take my order for 12 copies.
Oh dear. All right, congratulations. My project is live. Hopefully this looks better for you guys. Wow, I have vastly underestimated how interested people were in this design. There we go, number one. Of course, I forgot you have to actually choose your pledges. So, yes, there's only 2 rewards. There is the 23 euro, which is, we want to keep it under 25 bucks, right? And then there is the 60 euro, which includes TNG, which we did in our last campaign, which I'm guessing that most of the people here will already know about and have backed. So we won't get into...
3 backers!
We've got 5, actually. Oh. So we'll see. It is going to be a bit of a crawl because John has convinced me that the approach we should take here is to let's see, I need to create some sharing stuff too, so I'm going to move this over to the other window again for now. We need to create some links. Let's see, get the menu up and the dashboard, and we'll post in a couple of different places. And guys, by the way, please do share. I hate asking it. I don't usually do it, but it does make a difference for the algorithm on Kickstarter. So I'm just going to create some custom tags here.
What did I convince you to do? I didn't convince you to do anything. I don't take any blame. I'm so excited.
Sure you are. Such excitement. So the mails should be going out momentarily with Kickstarter. So there should be a couple of people following the project. Some people, they're going to want to read through. Others are just going to be turned off by it, I guess. It is kind of a return to an older design, so I felt a bit funny about it, but I really honestly feel at the moment this has had so much work done on it, and it is a different shape that it counts as a different ship. But it has this great benefit of also, like, if we could get to a position where we're able to offer more attractive options for existing Shuttle Alpha designs. So let's see. I want to go to second.
I want a ship I can dock the Scout inside of. When can we get that?
You want to do what?
I want a ship that can dock this entire Scout inside of it. When can we get to that size?
Yeah. I mean, some chimeras can do that. Some can. Let's see, I need to make a new slider or update this slider. Featured sliders, there we go. Shuttle Alpha, let's edit that. Change the link out. And...
Don't read the Discord general. Someone just said, hey, I saw this new Kickstarter, Carmen of Second Dynasty, and it's us.
Who wrote that?
C-I-D, I don't know how to say their name. Suicide. That's my best guess.
Oh, on our chat right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you know what? This is the right forum to share it in.
There's 17 backers.
What? I turned my eyes away for 2 seconds.
Don't worry. I'm coercing people.
Okay.
Blackmailing.
Yeah, we need to add it to Facebook and stuff as well, but I don't want to lose you guys either, because you kind of have to hang with me on the stream here. So I'll leave a little bit of space for that, and actually I just need to change the image. Actually, I can do that later. So seconddynasty.com is updated. Where did the Kickstarter thing go? There we go. All right, yes. Let's see. Shuttle Alpha 17. Wow, that's impressive. So we're already 10% of the way to full funding. But yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That a lot of some of the feedback that we got from past campaigns has been that people don't always feel like they're along for the ride because the funding levels are so low. At the same time, you know, part of our problem that we always have, even with more staff, is thanks, Kathy. I really appreciate that. That when we spend a lot of time delivering stretch goals that we've promised, so we want to make sure that the stretch goals that we have this time are quick and easy to put out. I'm not saying all of them will be done before my holidays, but a lot of them should be done in the time, in a short time frame. Or that album will take over, or you know, someone else. But the concepts are pretty easy to knock out. So the other concepts we have in the campaign, 22 backers, yay.
We're doing great, sir. I'm very excited.
I mean, this is a good response so far. I'm happy with that. Let's see. So what I was trying to say, I think, is in regards to the stretch goals that we have planned. Okay, so at 5,000, we reach our funding goal, and I realized I should have done some graphics ahead of time. And then I was like, don't worry, it's in euro, not in crowns, which I'm seeing right now. I was like, we've made 5,000 already. And I'm like, I'm seeing Swedish crowns, which is a tenth of a euro, right? So we haven't quite funded yet. So we have tail fins. Those are very simple winglets, really. You guys might have seen some of the original concepts of the shuttle with this on. This is dead easy to implement. It will be slightly more complicated now by virtue of the fact that we split this back section in two. That was for lighting. Also, guys, one of the major changes with this revision is that the only part inside the ship itself, and I hope I'm not lying here, but I'm quite sure, is the front that requires any supports is the front section. It just requires a little row of supports along here and a little row of supports along there. And it's quite tidy and easy to implement. There's versions of the cockpit both with and without the struts. I could be coerced into adding some windows to this section as well. We shall see.
There is one other part that needs supports, but that's it.
Oh man, I didn't update the stretch goals graphic. I should have done that. I'm going to do that real quick. Because the 6500 one is the AWorks version here, but this is actually secretly re-implementing the turret ring. So yes, it's an AWACS version, right? But it's also a turret version, so you can fit any of our turrets into that. And this may not be the last one we do either. Because we have been talking about boarding versions. We've got a great bunch of suggestions. We might do a little bit of... wait, why didn't that go to edit? Or am I just not seeing this?
It's all broken, sir. We need to destroy it.
Okay.
Fire.
We need to destroy it with fire?
Correct.
What
I have the fire.
You have the fire. All right, good. Because I like destroying things that I've spent months working on. All right, let's update this page. We tried to keep things as simple as possible as far as the actual add-ons and such were concerned. Some people have said, you know, it's overwhelming with all the stuff we've done, and I get that. I know there's some people that'll be sad to miss out. Oh, I see why. Composition all. The version I did with more says that it's funded, which it's not. So we need to fix that. I wasn't going to update this until we were funded, but that could take a while. So Unlocked is off. And locked is on. Save. Then we can export this.
I'm getting ready, sir, because 3DO is getting an update with the Shuttle Alpha Mark IV preview.
Oh, that is true. That is true. So, yeah, I mean, can we show that off in a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I could show it off now if you wanted me to.
Yes, I know, but I need to just
Oh,
finish
yeah,
this
you do
first,
your...
and then I'll put it over onto the other screen. Let's see. There we go. Open. See, this is the fun of live streaming, where you get incredibly distracted. I feel like I'm distracted on the best of days, and when you've got a live stream going at the same time as you've got a new campaign coming out, you haven't shared a bunch of stuff yet. All right, let's see. So we have up to 10,000 on the new version. We have shown off the missile pods already, and we have shown off the fidelity parts. So really we are good for those first 4 stretch goals, and we'll be presenting more down the road, although likely not until tomorrow. So let's see. John, do you want to just share your screen, and then I will share that with the people that
Of course,
are in
sir.
the chat.
Please wait.
Please
Please wait. Hiding incriminating evidence.
So, for those who don't know, 3DO is an evolution of a software package that this is how John actually got involved with Second Dynasty, by programming this piece of software to visualize our Starship layouts, basically, so you could plan your prints for all those people that, don't like the Lego life, or, it is a lot of upfront guesstimation to build something if you don't know what all the parts are and do, and even I get confused at times. So we created something called Deck Designer. We managed to release that out into the world with the functionality that we were looking for, and had promised in its initial launch way back, I think, in Starship 5 with the Sleipnir.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, I want to do the pop out here, and I want to go to this, and no, how do I make it full screen? I'm missing the
I don't know, sir.
full screen? Oh, there, hide members. There we go. All right, so I've got
You
your
can't see
screen.
me. I forgot to turn my camera on. Wildly than your one.
How do I get 3DO now? Well, that's the thing. 3DO is the next version, and it's actually included as a part of, I think it was a case of, like, if you had bought Deck Designer after, what was it, August last year or something, you got the free upgrade or something like that. But otherwise, it's attached to our My Mini Factory Tribes, which John is actually running at the moment, I would say. Actually, 100%. So this is the shuttle in 3DO. Sorry about the lag and the lack of detail here, but that's basically the internet connection here. I'm going to blame John because we're sitting on 1,000 megabytes a second.
I'm sitting on the American Southern Internet. Suffer with me.
Yes, we are. So, he has kindly put all the parts into 3DO, which should assist Cassie because she's doing a test print sometime this week.
Wee, these are where the parts go. It tells you file names. There's no instructions yet, but I like that. Anything you want to show them, sir?
I mean, I think it looks good. At some point, we need to get like the animated ramp in or something like that. But yeah, we how many parts does it have, John?
I don't know. I believe at least 53.
So that would be the main parts, and then you've got. Well, what did you do to those doors?
Exploded, sir.
Is it meant to do that?
No, the orientations have changed since the preview copy you sent me, and I have not updated them.
Oh,
I'll
okay,
update
yeah,
them
that would be
before
for better printing. So I can tell you one thing: the kitchen and the beds are on the opposite side of what they should be.
Wait, what?
Yep.
The FBX? Fine.
So
I'll swap them, sir.
and they just clip in with if you actually use filament, they're just held in place with filament. So the reason we do things like this is, well, if you want to glue it down, you can. But the idea is to make it easier to paint, so you can paint it all up and then put it down without it being, too annoying. Let's see, I did finish that, so I can go back to viewing my project and see how many fabulous people are supporting us right now.
Todd Spurgeon was great. I had to protect the bridge from boarding by just going kaboom, exploding, fighting the doors. It's for your safety, sir. I have to keep the bin safe.
All right, there we go. We got 41 backers and just shy of, no, just over €1,000. Nice. Very good.
Hurrah! Jubilation.
So yeah, the doors open. They have a nice little bit of detail. There's more detail in here than there was. Also, that back wall. If you back it up, John. Look at it from the cargo bay.
What am I looking at? I don't know what I'm doing.
Something.
Pause here.
Oh, I know what it is. The bottom half of the wall between the cabin and the cargo bay is in the wrong orientation. It should be rotated 180 degrees.
Wait, what?
The wall. You have the top part. That's correct. The bottom part is flipped.
I did?
Rotate it 180 degrees.
Like that?
There you go. So we see the detail on the backside there, yeah?
Is this the correct way it's supposed to be?
Yes.
I'm very not. That's all I got. I'm very not.
Let's see the cockpit to make sure it's looking good too. Okay, that looks right.
Based on the FBX.
The cockpit is a lot more detailed than it was.
All the buttons you can press, and the best part is this comes separate, so you can print it all by itself.
You can. There's also a version where it's built in.
That's the wrong one to print. Do not print that one. Print
so the other version, it has it built in, but obviously it'll be slightly harder to paint. And the orientation means that those the joysticks there do need some supports under them. What's happening here? You're increasing the detail? Can your internet handle it?
It's not that. It's that I forget how to do everything.
But
I broke it.
You made this program. It's like you almost know.
I broke it. This is the debug version that I'm testing with, so it's known to be explodifying. Let's go away to something else. Yes. I gotta fix this before I release it today.
Should I?
Yes. Go away.
Kill this window now.
Don't pay no attention to the man behind the blue space stick.
Wait, how do I do this without hanging up on you? Exit full screen. There we go. The tear off is gone. So now we can only hear you instead, and we can have
this is wonderful.
We can put the Shuttle Alpha page back over here. So maybe, guys, this would be a good time to take some questions or suggestions. I would remind you too that writing comments up on the actual page does help the Kickstarter algorithm. So the more comments we get, the more shares we get, the more the project stays high in the rankings, and the better the chance that we get some good funding out of it. So yeah, get those comments there as well if you have questions. But since we are online with a whole 13 of you at the moment, by the looks of things, if there are any questions regarding the campaign, I'd be happy to answer them. Oh, nice. Kathy's got the print running. Eric DeVoe, really looking good. Definitely worth the price for the upgrade. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. By the way, guys, I hope it's clear, but if you do have a Mark III or less, and we do hit that 10,000 stretch goal for the upgrade, you don't have to have the Mark IV to enjoy that. That will be free. So that'll just be a general improvement of the core product. As we mentioned in the pitch film, it's actually our best-selling product, which isn't so weird because it's one of the first ones we put on my mini factory. But this improved version should make it more friendly for everyone that is printing it. Unfortunately, because of the nature of this Kickstarter, we didn't have as much time to start up things. I haven't got a painted version. Maybe I'll do that. That would be a good project when I'm stuck at home with the dog on Thursday and Friday. But it all depends. It could run to, and then I'll be stuck doing a bunch of stretch goals, which is not the worst thing in the world. We have had a couple of interesting suggestions. Some of them are technically more viable than others. Let's see. Dalton is asking 15mm scale / resin printing settings. So to scale it down, that's about 54%. I haven't test printed it. As far as resin settings go, this ship has always been designed for FDM. It's actually Albin that does the resin stuff. So it was never designed specifically for resin printers in mind. So the parts are pretty straightforward, but you may need to add your own drainage points or print them full solid, which would use a lot of... it would make the parts quite heavy. Size-wise, we can actually go down to the printing section and look at that. The largest part is about 6.7 inches wide, and that would be like this section here at the end. I have tons of these because I was prototyping so much. So I have about almost 3 copies worth of the ship. I don't know exactly how much it weighs, but it is under 1 kilo. I can get out my little scale, actually, and we can do that now real quick.
He's very happy about that.
Who is?
You are.
Oh, about weighing it?
Yes, it's your favorite activity.
Weighing
Because no one ever asks you to weigh it, but you're always saying like, "Oh, I can weigh it. I can get my scale out. I can do that." And
I
you
pay
do it
good
every
money
time.
for this scale. Alright. Got the ship. Oh, wow. So, 776 grams unpainted. That's actually... Oh, 775. That's a good number. That's very, very specific.
And we just hit 50 backers. 50 backers on the Shuttle Alpha Mark IV. Back it now before we run out of stock.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting 778. Maybe the ramp was throwing it off. Yep. 778 grams, which is great because technically, if you have no misprints, if you have no misprints, and this is at 8% infill, by the way, you should be able to print it out with just one single roll of PLA filament. I do recommend using PLA if you're using FDM. But when it comes to SLA printing, we're not directly supporting it. I realize it's a very common printer, but as with many of our ships, it's actually almost more financially viable to buy an entry-level FDM printer and the PLA material to print it than it would be to print it in resin. I'm talking more about the larger ships, so like the Beowulf, the Chimera. The Chimera is 5 kilos of plastic, so if you can figure out what 5 liters of resin would cost, you can kind of see my reasoning. Although, the prices are fluctuating, the pandemic did make the price of filament go up considerably. I think it's equalized a bit now, but I wasn't really looking at the prices the last time I ordered. So yeah,
You could still get a good roll at $20 in US. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the filament, Prusament was similar to around about 20 euros or 22, something like that. About the price of a Shuttle Alpha. So, awesome.
Neat, coinky dink.
Yes. Did they leave? Am I alone here now?
You can't escape, sir.
I can't escape. I decide my future, John.
Oh.
Yeah, so we need I need to share this a few other places, but let's see. Let's see, 15 millimeters, 54%, and even that, even solid printing it should not be too bad. I mean, it'll be half the size, so I think solid printing at 15 millimeters will be much more reasonable. I think a full 28 millimeter scale would be an issue, but again, I'm the wrong person to talk about these differences. It's very much secondhand knowledge, um, and I mean, I don't think SLA printing is. I mean, FDM printing has its issues, but SLA certainly has a number of its own issues. And whilst I know the ins and outs of FDM and have optimized this heavily for FDM printing, as far as orientation is concerned, most of the orientation stuff will apply for for this. I mean, you're going to have to pre-support it yourself. A number of the parts probably print okay flat on the print bed, but we'll see. Okay, Catholic joined the tribe too. Yay for tribes! Tribes, guys. We don't have a link on the page at the moment.
We should.
We should add a page. John, you do have admin rights if you want to add something about it at some point. I guess a bit further down, but the tribe has gone a lot better than we thought. What are we?
We got more than 3 backers.
We do have more than 3. I thought it might be a struggle to get 100 people on the tribes, because we have done Patreon before where it's kind of similar, where you just get a monthly discount. But this time when we threw in 3DO and a couple of models, and John does some custom variants every month, and we also work with like Papsicles and that blasted summer flange, doing some mini variations. By the way, guys, don't miss out either. Papsicles is doing a more customized miniature that will fit in a pilot seat, but at the moment he's offering this awesome. It looks like a space dwarf to me, but I don't know exactly what it is. Now this you get automatically by backing the campaign. It'll be a case of we get the list of backers at the end of the campaign. We send it to Papsicles, and he attributes it to my manufacturer account. But it's only going to be for the campaign. But you might notice there's also a 40% off there. He's also going to be doing a Kickstarter and a bit of promotion for us, so we like to support him, especially since he has done the lion's share of our Second Dynasty miniatures. I do wish there was a way to easily, like, Kickstarter graphics are kind of simplistic. They're not like my mini factory simplistic, but I would like to be able to like click on like this, for example, and see a larger image. I understand why they don't, because they're hosting all the images themselves. But it is what it is. You kind of have to make this all one graphic because it looks crap if you just do like 10 different graphics. So we only did a selection of add-ons this time. There's nothing unique. This is all older stuff. We do have the Type S, which is an officially licensed Traveler product. The rest of these are all our own designs. Obviously, they use different design language depending on what universe we're sort of building to. But yeah. I've had no issues with the Type S at 15 mil. Oh, that's great. We did do those partitions solid in the end. I know Kathy had issues with those. So I'm wondering if you used the solid partitions. So yeah.
There was one other model that got fixed for the Type S, but it was fixed so long ago, they probably have already.
Yeah, I don't see. Kathy also did like the earliest version of it because it was a review copy, and also it wasn't designed for 15 mil at the time. Although we did make some changes based on Kathy's feedback. So
that is true.
Let's see. Filament of choice is Filament matte white. Okay. Filament. That's kind of funny because ful in Swedish means ugly.
So rude.
So I wouldn't expect good quality from that. But oh, how's your Swedish going, John? Have you learnt any yet?
No. I wasn't even going to try to say that in a fake Swedish accent.
Would it sound like the Swedish chef instead of an actual Swede, or?
Wait, Swedish chef isn't Swedish?
No, just what the
I'm
Swedish chef sounds like does not sound like Swedish. It kind of sounds a bit like Danish. I'm being mean.
That is very true, though. Based on that video you sent me.
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't be rude to the Danish, even though everyone keeps telling me the same thing.
I think the Danish would tell you that, to be honest.
Oh!
What was that? Whatever it was, John, I hope you survived, and you seem to
I will
have
be back later.
gotten another backer for it.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Or not.
Or not. Uh-oh.
Yeah, my screen just exploded.
That was your screen?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it fell over and just cracked, and I'm not hurt, which is good, because if it was made out of glass or something, man, that would have been bad. I'm gonna go to Best Buy and purchase another monitor. Bye, everybody.
I'm glad you're okay, but that sucks.
Yeah,
Anyone in
my
chat
screen
got a
just-
spare monitor for John?
I have. Yeah, I'll be okay. I'm gonna go get a towel. Bye, guys.
All right. I'm glad we've got a good start here. So, I have some of the plant-based / biodegradable resin, which is grey, but I am holding off until I take my holidays to try it out. Fair enough. Yeah, that sucks, John. I hate that happened to you, mate. Thoughts on those suggested stretch goals from the Discord? Okay, what happened to that, actually? Let's see, I want to get... What I did with all the suggested stuff from the Discord. We do have a Discord, guys. I think the link is right down at the bottom of the page here with follow us there. Unfortunately, it's not graphically friendly, but we can't use graphics to link to things, right? Actually, we can. Maybe I'll change that. But in any case, you should see there that there is a Discord group. And our Discord group is where I'm most active. Hey, Hannes!
Bye, Ben. Good luck.
Are you going home for the day?
Yep.
All right.
Good luck.
See you tomorrow, darling.
Yay.
Bye. That was Hannes who does the filming for, well, not this time. I did it all myself. We bought a light box and did a dodgy version. Let's see. It's canon that the Swedish chef speaks mock Swedish. Yeah, it's like pig Latin. Derby, 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 derby. Swedish actually sounds a lot better than that, to be honest. If you're in Canada, I have a few spares. Alright, so we don't need to look at those links, but yeah, we do have that community. I did leave in this table from the Type S, which was specifically about rescaling things. So you can get a good idea about, you know, what you would expect. You can kind of figure out what the weights would be too. So I would say at 15 millimeters, the weight is going to be very, very small, maybe just like 100 grams. Although resin, different density, different weight, right? And again, I've got 2 layers thick, 5 on the bottom, 8 on the top, and 8% infill. So if your infill settings or your wall settings or whatnot are different, you're going to have a different result. So at this rate, maybe we will start unlocking stretch goals later today. But as far as the stretch goal suggestions went, I have listed them down. I listed the number of votes they had, and I also have ranked them according to the difficulty. So my thinking is tomorrow, because I've had so much to get prepared for this, that tomorrow I will spend the day going over those next stretch goals because there is at least a chance that we'll get to the Mark III Fidelity Pass. And then we will be entering the territory of some of those suggestions. Now, we can talk about some of them a little bit. I'm going to turn the AWACS and winglets off because there have been a number of suggestions. Some of them have been about extending the hull. This is always a classic. It can be extended here with the old version. It does require a new lid and a piece that you can use to sort of fit behind here. And a number of the issues we have is the fact that the intakes for the engines, which I don't, to be perfectly honest, think that it would actually be air breathing necessarily. It could be, it's space tech, who knows. There's also like intakes here of some kind. Yeah, I don't know. It could be cooling, it could be whatever, but whatever the case is, when you split the hull here to lengthen it, which we will do, you get back a nice piece of cavity. Let's take the top off. You get it off a nice piece, like you can extend the cargo bay. That's not too much of an issue. The issue is when we want to start adding detail to the exterior. Now, some of the modifications that we've talked about so far on the Discord, and again, I will open this up and make it a little bit by having places where you guys can vote on suggestions or whatnot. Although I do not think we'll have a campaign where there be in excess of 10 stretch goals. I need to limit the amount of work that we're doing. I keep doing this time after time, but it's not always the sensible thing to do because it means we're not creating new material either. So let's see. One thing that would be interesting to do is adding a side entrance. There's only one place for that, and that's this little strip here. It will require some internal modifications. Mainly the main issue here is that there's a wall there. Although I have considered, changing the layout of the cockpit because this is extremely spacey in here. We could potentially add a cockpit wall like here instead. Or even just, move this forward half an inch, which would make things feel a little less spacey in the cockpit. Like here, honestly, you could fit 6 chairs easily. It's just a case of, making the space for it. But yeah, if we made it so essentially this section here folds down, and actually you don't need to go even the whole way up. You could potentially just have like an outline here, and then that flips out, there's a staircase in there, and you sort of just walk up into the ship, right? And that opens things up to doing other stuff with the rear of the ship. Like there was a suggestion you could put like a rear turret on it instead of a ramp. You could change the layout of the ship, but mainly I don't want to change whatever's going on mechanically in these main engine sections. And then it would be good to make things... Sorry?
You don't want to spend tons and tons of time
no
modifying. Yeah,
so
it makes sense.
For example, the AWACS version, very simple job really, because we have had this before. It's a case of increasing the fidelity. It's not dead simple, and unlike the original version where it was just like, let's see if this is isolated, it's just a hole, right, that takes the turret ring. In this case, because of the fidelity level we're working with, I would make it go through the hole and, add a ladder or something that makes sense maybe. Hey, we're missing a back tile there. In any case. So if I turn off that again, one thing that I'm looking to do that wasn't on the list, or it was low priority on the list, is actually adding back these VTOL sections so that you could add the original engines back on. I feel that there's some people that might want to compromise, like they want the original front, for example, but they want the engines of this version. I mean, that's possible as it is, but they might want the fixed engines in addition to the VTOL engines or something like that. So that would be a good one, but also the way that I'm planning to do this in the future, I'm considering having more like a ring so that you could use these also to add turrets or anything that would dock with, a regular ring size. So I'm not finished doing that design. There are a lot of ones that were suggested that have more votes than this, but it's also like I have to factor in what inspires me, because I'm going to be working on it. I did have a couple of things up on this list right here, right? So this is where our you can see all the prep that we do. There's a ton of stuff here. So this isn't sorted by any chance, but you've kind of got like, here was the number of votes we had. Here was the level of difficulty. And then there's a couple of things like foldable jump seats or crash couches. That might be something that's interesting to do for like the tribes, but it seems a little too minor to do as a stretch goal on a Kickstarter. So we can talk about that. The boarding airlock, that would be in the floor. That's completely doable. One thing I'm thinking about is if maybe there are people that don't want the RCS on everything. By RCS, I mean the reaction control system, right? Which is the thrusters. So maybe there's a version to be had where you take off the tiles down the bottom and take off the engines because you're in the Star Wars universe or the Traveler universe where they use repulsors or, grav drives instead. That could be one possibility, although that would actually be quite a lot of work. Then we had a couple of other ones. External cargo pods, that was very strongly voted on, so that's probably actually going to be the next stretch goal after the 10,000 mark. Wings were not voted on so much, but, I'd like to do something that looks custom to the Mark IV. But then again, maybe wings would make it look weird because we do have this, different front style. There was a request for a cockpit that has the kind of visibility of like a RSI Starship. God, what's the small one done? Star Citizen base package ship. I can't remember the name of it right now. But like with a real glassy cockpit. So you could potentially extend out here into something different cockpit-wise. Although, again, the cockpits are quite extensive and detailed. Let's see. Cramped cockpits feel more realistic unless it's a lavish corporate touring vessel which needs room for VIPs to stand and gesture during a fly around. Agreed to a certain degree. I think the sort of like Star Wars level is where we're at. The cockpit would feel cramped if the wall was, say, like here with 4 seats in it, right? Even moving this forward one would as well. But that also requires modifying this piece. And this is the one piece that's left over from the Shuttle Alpha Mark III and previous that I haven't changed. So this and this is the exact same piece. I mean, it's been updated to the Mark IV standard, right? But other than that, that's the only piece they share in common. So I was like, I want to keep that, but to make things less complicated. But then again, it really probably wouldn't hurt too much to move this wall forward, aside from the fact that, I mean, the wall feels more forward here because we haven't, and actually, why is that more forward? Oh, it's the actual shape of the old cockpit, right? It's actually shorter than this one. Or rather, not shorter, the controls are further forward. So, and here, of course, would be the start of the windows. So even if we move this, half an inch, let's see, I want to put the pivot point in the middle there somewhere. It's not quite centered. Orient. Why is that not moving? I will move it manually. Right, so say that I move this forward just half an inch, and we need our grid to be, let's see, we'll just make the grid 4, so it's an inch divided by 4, right? So it's snapping. So this is moved over by half an inch, and you know it's starting to feel more cramped. If you had those chairs in, I think to make it really feel cramped, you'd want here. I kind of was considering adding in some kind of stations there, but I really don't know what I'm going to do with that space just yet, and that's why I like to talk to, you know, my backers and see what they actually want. I mean, backwards compatibility, it is a bear, but it's not as well, because I feel like, you know, we've still done it in such a way that all the connectors are lined up the same way. So you can have the Mark III front on the Mark IV body, and vice versa. So if you like the shape of the original shuttle, you can certainly put it over there. If you want to use this front on our, there was a version, let's see, do I have the earlier Mark III versions? So for example, we have our Star Trekky style one. So you could take that and put on, you know, the new front, or, you know, put it on the winged version, the bus version. This is the old version of the bus here, right, which had its own custom wings, but we just had this extender piece, and I think that adds 2 inches of length. And again, you can see how here it doesn't make a perfect shape, right? This is what I'm trying to avoid, but it still makes something that looks interesting. What you can't see is how these engines flow in a sort of organic manner, and this limits where we can actually cut up the Mark IV without making, you know, the profile or silhouette of the ship look jerky. Some people were suggesting, you know, extending forward here. But if we, for example, move the cockpit out to there, we need to have some kind of shape that brings this back into making sense. And you can kind of imagine that this looks a bit more like a beta outline, which looks like something else. Well, let's just say it looks extra phallic. Most ships that are like this do look kind of a little phallic, but it would make it extra phallic looking. So let's see. I still say having those removable panels, have different types of consoles built into the inside, that way you can just swap them out to change the ship. So the Mark III still be offered alongside the Mark IV. It will take an off the menu item. The Mark III is going to stay because we have sold so many of those. The thing is, if we hit the 10,000 version, we're just going to basically update the Mark III to the Mark IV quality, but that'll be like, we'll update all of the Mark IIIs. So you won't be able to get the old stuff. Well, maybe we'll add a folder that's on, you know, the MMF page or something, where if you really want, you can download the older version of it, but I don't see why you would want it, since I don't want to destroy it because it's my baby, but at the same time, it was a premature baby, and this is really bad analogy at the moment. If the concept wasn't fully formed when I made the original Mark 1, and even the Mark 3, I just have learned so much from it. Optimally, I would always be, you know, putting my best foot forward when I'm trying to sell something, because I want people to feel the quality is there. And some of my older stuff, it's harder to feel proud of, almost embarrassing at times. So let's see, pull out the plane panel and add a gunner station or a science station and so on. Like on the side, yeah. Again, the main reason I haven't considered this is because I want to keep this part as legacy as possible. So if anything, probably what I would do is take, because we do have these slots here on the floor, have a floor panel thing that slots in on top of that could add some of that detail in, right? That could technically be possible. Because the thing is, this wouldn't feel as cramped if, for example, there was like it would feel more cramped if there was like a side station here. Or, why did that pivot point just disappear all of a sudden? If it was like here, and then you've got like computer systems that looked really cramped or something like that, that's not going to feel as open, right? I still am open to changing this, but again, the Mark III cockpit would not be compatible with it anymore. Whereas if we added a door in here, I don't know, maybe I can build a piece that makes sense, that's like a very oddly shaped wall that fits in, just makes things a little tighter here. But again, leaves less room. I mean, this cockpit also, you know, has more room in it now than what I'd like it to be, but it does look like it makes a bit more sense. We're still missing a few custom floor pieces. Again, this is stuff I'll work on if we hit that stretch goal. Not that I think it'll be too much of an issue. Let's see how we're doing, actually. So we've got 65 backers and just... Oh, no, 74. Excellent. So we're well on our way. We're two fifths of the way, almost halfway to that first funding goal. So that's going to be exciting. I'm going to stream until 7 o'clock, which is in 9 minutes. And from there, I'm going to, you know, start sharing some things, and I've got to go home to the wife and whatnot. So I'll be on and off with this throughout the night, but the main focus will be tomorrow. We do have some graphics ready to go if we do unlock some of those stretch goals, although fortunately you guys can see far enough with it that, like, I doubt very much we will get to the Mark III tonight. That would be absolutely fantastic, but hey, it's a smaller campaign, a shorter campaign on day one. We'll see. What about a hatchway on the top? A hatchway. What do you mean by hatchway? We do have like a turret ring that will be on the top on the AWACS version, so you could fit a ladder there. What one of these options was, let's see, is a boarding airlock that would be on the bottom, which would have like you know, a sort of ring in it. Essentially, since we use the same formats, we would be talking about, you know, the same thing as a turret ring. Technically, you could mount a turret there if you really wanted to, but you're going to have a clearance issue with the landing gears. One thing I had been toying with was the idea of making a double-decker version, where essentially it would be a 1.5 level sort of thing. I'm not going to do it, and the reason why is just it's too much work. But that we would like extend it slightly and have it sort of like, you would probably have like a ramp or something there. This would be like further out, like here somewhere, hanging over the top. And you would basically have a 2-story thing, because we've actually got quite a bit of room down the bottom of the ship. But it's a different design for the future. Maybe we'll do something like that, but not this campaign. It's just too much work if you want to Beowulf this year. So let's see. If you stretch the cargo section, what length increments would you choose? I'd do 2 inches at a time, so 3 meters basically. I think that's a good compromise. We can work with that. It would be split here, and yeah, you could do it 1 inch at a time. It wouldn't be too much of an issue. It's still going to look a little fugly because, you know, you have this gap here. It has to be straight between that gap, so it's going to be like flow, bulk, and then, you know. So it will look a bit weird. Maybe it could be offset by having some kind of machinery or something. I don't know. I still feel bad for poor John and his broken screen. Wonder if it was his own clumsiness. that was the reason, or some kind of animal. Cargo module on the bottom to replace the thrusters. Oh, the cargo module thing, I kind of forgot about exactly how I was going to solve it. So my idea for the external cargo is actually that we essentially ditch the ramp at the back. We ditch the whole back section. So let's turn the AWACS off again, and we'll also turn the top off. So essentially, we would take out all of these tiles, right? And the back section. And this would be open, and it would be like an actual container attached to the back of the ship. So it's like a tug. So we get rid of some of these thrusters. You maybe add some additional thrusters here to make up for the ones that you've taken out here. But the idea being that, the cargo section is modular, so you can just land, you connect to it, and you have, modular cargo that you can shuttle up and down. You could potentially take it even further or make it like slightly wider, because I'm not sure. We would make it slightly wider. Essentially, I'd want to make like a standard traveler cargo container sort of thing. So let's see. 2 inches very usable. Yeah, I think 1 inch is maybe a little too short. What is the current best estimate launch date for the Beowulf Kickstarter? October 2022 is the window. It's kind of like the last window for the year, because you want the campaign to be done before Thanksgiving in the US. If you want to get people to feel confident about opening their wallets, past October, people are thinking about Thanksgiving, they're thinking about Christmas. So that will be the window, but we need to run it this year anyway, so it will be done. It's just a question of like what state it will be. It is like 70% prototyped fully. And I know where I'm going with it. It'll probably take me about 2 to 3 weeks to get it to a stage where the entire outer hull is printed and the entire interior is designed. So probably about a month of work to get it to prototype phase. I am worried about the time, getting smaller and smaller. But, we probably need to get it painted here in Sweden. That's the main issue. Let's see. What have I missed out on? So I like fugly ships. Fair enough. I mean, we want to provide some options. I've just got to be able to live with it, right? So convince me. Will the new cockpit feature exploding monitors? Even took out the mouse. Oh, was there an earthquake? I mean, John. Do you have crazy relatives that, had some explosives left from the 4th of July celebrations? Someone might have had a killer hangover. You really don't know what happened? It seems like something violent must have happened for the room to have shook. Let's see. My favorite cargo section is the Space 1999 Eagle. I've not seen Space 1999, but that ship definitely turns up all the time. So it would be not visually similar, but in concept similar, because I believe it had like you could swap out the modules, right? So you could have a passenger module, or you could have a cargo module, a tanker version, that sort of thing. So that would be the idea. Let's see. And then deliver the cargo unit to a Beowulf. Excellent. Yes, I'm thinking earthquake. Really? Wow. I mean, it caused someone to back the campaign. I saw that at the same time. So maybe, who knows? Someone sitting there going, "Damn it! I pressed back. Didn't mean to." Alien ship landed nearby. Maybe. You never know. John, you do live out in the sticks a little, don't you? Everything shook. The monitor fell off and hit my laptop knocked over glass of water onto the mouse and dock. Hopefully, a bit of rice might dry that up. We'll see. The Eagle, it's separate underneath and detachable. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I had the radioactive container version. Oh, okay, you had an actual model of it. Nice. Oh, okay, guys, we're getting on 7 o'clock now, so I should get back to the page here. We have 75 backers. It's a good number, a good starting number again. Oh, 85, even better. 25,000 crowns, that's awesome, guys. That'll keep the lights on for a little while longer. I'll get to sending these out. So again, I'd ask you guys to share the campaign if you can, or feel comfortable with it, of course. I personally don't like sharing anything that I feel won't be relevant for someone, so but share it to Facebook groups, you know, that focus on this kind of thing. You know, if you know some place that would like to review it, if you do have a platform for reviewing things, I can provide a review copy earlier. As far as release is concerned, we're working with Kickstarter. This time, however, I don't think it'll be a 2-week wait, because basically when Kickstarter says, okay, everyone who has backed and we've got the funds for, that usually happens after about 5 days, whereas they pay me after 2 weeks. And normally I've waited until the funds are cleared, but I think we'll just start attributing things soon after because, you know, of the whole holiday situation. So I want to make sure as much is done as possible. So thank you again, guys, for making an awesome start to a new campaign. I hope to see you guys again soon with some stretch goals once we start releasing them. So keep an eye out for updates where we will maybe have a forum for voting on stretch goals and that kind of thing. So thanks, guys, for joining me, for making this possible. We've got a good start, and